Oh, hey BookTube! It's Kate and welcome back to my channel. I'm here to talk about a new series that I'm starting called Worth the Hype, where I review books that have been plastered all over the internet, social media, and people are buzzing about. And we're going to talk about whether or not they're actually worth the read. So the first book that I'm going to talk about for my Worth the Hype series is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Okay, so before I start gushing about this book, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the hype surrounding it. There were 13 publishing houses, 13, who were bidding over to publish this book. And that's kind of insane. But it doesn't stop there. The book was actually picked up for movie rights before it was even published. Crazy, right? Like, what other book has done that? This book follows Star Carter, a 16-year-old girl living in two worlds. The poor black neighborhood that she grew up in, and the fancy private school her parents sent to after she lost her best friend when she was 11, Natasha, in a drive-by shooting. The book opens with Star getting into a car with a good friend of hers, Cleo, who she hadn't seen in a while. And on their way home, they're stopped by a police officer. Cleo is asked to get out of his car, and when he bends over to ask Star if she's okay, the police officer mistakes his actions as something aggressive and shoots Cleo in the back. The book then follows Star's journey to being the only witness to this horrific crime. The book's author, Angie Thomas, wrote the novel because she was inspired by all the current events surrounding police brutality against black people, such cases as Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice. And before I talk about how much I love this book, because there are a lot of things to love about it, there are a couple things that I just want to address because I think that as readers it's important to acknowledge a book's flaws as much as its positive aspects. So it was a debut novel, so we can be a little bit forgiving, but first person point of view, I understand why it was important to this story. However, it was so heavy on the exposition. Sometimes I just felt like Star was talking to me versus me living through her. And that's okay, but it's the old additive show, don't tell. I wish we had more show and not tell from Star's perspective as she's going through these things. And then the other thing that kind of bothered me was the timeline. Certain things that I thought would be really important, like her going through the process of hearing for the indictment. They weren't actually touched upon. We see them happening, but we don't actually see what happens. We're told that they happen, and there is a point where Star does do an interview with a reporter that is televised and blurred, and we get some of her perspective, but we don't actually see the way the court system works against her, which is kind of something that I wish we were shown. Now to answer the question that you've all been waiting for since I started this, is this book worth the hype? Absolutely. I'm going to say it flat out, absolutely. Despite its little shortcomings, The Hate U Give is a beautiful illustration of one girl's journey through finding her voice. She starts off being insecure and unsure of herself and unsure if she can actually stand up and be an advocate for her friend to becoming an activist. It's a beautiful journey. It's filled with pop culture references that'll make you laugh and moments of mourning that'll make you cry. We see how she navigates through her own interracial relationship and recognizing her own friends as racist. It's a beautiful story and one that took me a whole month to read because I kept having to put it down because at points it is so heartbreaking that you start to realize that this is the world that we live in. And you just can't believe it. You can't believe that this is a world where a black man can't drive his own car or walk down the street. You realize that her voice is just an avenue to tell the truth, to make people open their eyes and see. I think that, yes, we see it on the news, we see it on TV, but you don't understand it because you don't live it. And that's why it's so important to have books like this that are our own voices books, where you have an author who is living these experiences and can translate it onto a page to help other people understand it. And that's what makes this book so powerful. So yes, I am absolutely saying 100% this book is worth the hype. Go out, buy a copy for your friend, your best friend, pass your book along to your neighbor. Do whatever you can. I think Star's voice is an important one. It's a prevalent one. It's a voice that needs to be heard. I am so excited too, because I found out that Angie Thomas, her sophomore novel, is coming out on May 1st of 2018. It's going to be called On the Come Up, and it's going to focus on Bree, who is an aspiring rapper, and it's going to be set in Garden Heights, the same neighborhood that Star is from. Alright, well that's all I have for you today. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you've read The Hate U Give. Did you think it was worth the hype? Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!